Welcome back to Holt Growers. I'm your host, Timothy Holt, and this is my backyard. So, this video is all about the giant crimson radish. Here in just a little bit, we're going to cut to a time lapse where you can see me plant the radishes over in the third bed over here. We're going with 4 rows. I actually put carrots in 2 of them. Radishes are in the first 2, carrots are in the other 2. But there's 4 rows in that bed row, and then I'll show you the different stages. We'll conclude this video with a overview of how I harvest it and what they look like when they're done. So seeds are pretty small, they're pretty easy to plant. Radish is a fast growing plant, about 30 days to germination, or not germination, 30 days to maturity when we harvest them. Depending on the season, it will take anywhere from 40 days at the long end to about 25 at the short end. So they're definitely my fastest growing crop. I find them delicious, especially with a little bit of salt on them. So going from seed, about 2 weeks ago I planted these right here, and you can see they're coming up. I only did 3 rows in this, and they're pretty sparse. So we're going with 4 rows, and then you'll see the finished product here in just a moment at the end of this video where I talk about that. So as always, get out, grow something today, and may God richly bless you, and enjoy the time lapse. So real quickly, we're going to harvest these radishes, and I'll show you how to do it. Most of the time I've discovered that if we take the tops off as I harvest them, they tend to, tends to be easier, and they tend to last longer in the refrigerator. So I just grab a handful of them, pull them off, throw the crop into the tub here. Take off as much dirt as I can, and I just twist them off like so, and then throw them in there. Now, also while I'm doing this, I'm also picking out any excess weeds that happens to be growing with these radishes. As you'll be able to see here, it goes pretty quick. I do have some tomato plants growing in here, it looks like. I did not plant those, but since they're growing nicely, I'm going to keep them. So, just again, grab several of them. Shake off the dirt. Twist. Off the top. Now, I will say that I have 2 different plants here growing as far as tomatoes are concerned. I have 2 of them. I have a scarlet, which is a bigger one, and then I also have a marble, which is the smaller variety of radish. So, but all of them are pretty close to being ready to come out, so I'm just taking them all out at the moment. Doesn't take very long. Just grab them, pull them, and twist. Now, I am trying to be careful because, like I said, I discovered that there are some tomatoes growing in here, and I want to keep those plants. So I'm not getting too aggressive with just pulling. Because I want to keep those other plants in here. I think they're leftovers from last year when I had tomatoes and just kind of transplanted. I'm not sure how well you can see in that video, so I'll move over here and might be able to see it a little better here. So just grab a hold of them and pull them out. When I get a handful of them, I'm going to shake them loose. Twist off the tops. And throw the leftovers in there. Now, also, the nice thing about this is, doing it this way, is any weeds that happen to get pulled up come out too. So, even if they're not quite right, I'm still pulling them because I'm going to be planting something else in this bed. So, I'm just going to grab a bunch of them, shake off the dirt, twist, and repeat. Now, one nice thing about these is they come up really easy, as you can tell. They just pull right up. And that's it. Like I said, I'm going to be pulling all of this bed. All of it. So, and not sure how well you can see in that video right there, but they're pretty good size for the scarlets, and then the smaller ones are just garnish variety, so they're supposed to be pretty small. They're not going to get very big. And that's it. Now, after I wash these, I'll clean them up a little bit better, but they don't need a lot of work. And the faster I can get them harvested, cleaned up, packaged, the less work I have to do. So, as my dad used to say, work smarter, not harder. And another market gardener I know, I've come across, this is how he does it. And it seemed to work pretty well for him. So, when I tried it, it started working pretty well. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Bella is the name of the dog next door. She's a pretty cool dog. So, just pull them right out. Shake off that dirt. Twist. And throw them in there. Now, nice thing about radishes, for those of you who don't know, radishes only take about 30 days to harvest from the time we plant them. Now, if they're not very good like that, that looks like something was eaten on it, I just pitch it. I don't bother with it because I don't want to eat after a rodent or anything like that. So, but radishes are a fast-growing crop. They are the fastest-growing crop that I produce here at Holt Growers. Again, it takes about 30 days to go from planting to harvest. for my average crop here. So those are some pretty good ones of the smaller ones there. Now, the rest of this, I'm going to come back and take a little bit more time cleaning it up. The other nice thing about radishes, once you pull them, they decompose pretty quick too. So you can turn over a radish bed pretty quickly as far as getting another crop planted in. They don't hurt most crops, most other crops to plant right after them. And the weeds tend to be pretty low. This is the first harvest of radishes for the year. So, looks like it's pretty good. And that's going to do it. So, we'll get these radishes. That one's not very good either. But we'll get the radishes cleaned up and washed up, and then either ready to eat or ready to sell. So